From Barbara the juror literally falling asleep during trials, to a room full of mannequins and Jorf t-shirts, these are the most controversial moments from Jury Duty Season 1. I won't argue with anyone who says that sleep is the key to health and vitality. And while it's not uncommon for people to fall asleep in a variety of locations, the last place you'd ever expect anyone to fall asleep is in a jury box mid-trial. Actress Susan Berger's Barbara Goldstein is one person who certainly loves her beauty sleep, and she can't help but fall asleep during jury duty. I mean, I get it. A courtroom's not exactly a thrilling roller coaster ride of joy and excitement, but it's clear that Barbara values her sleep more than her civic duties. And when Alan Barinholtz's Judge Alan Rosen points to her, Barbara's like, "I'm awake," and it kills me every time. Who would have thought a documentary-style series about jury duty could make you laugh until your stomach hurt? When Judge Rosen calls Ron for a check-in because one of the jurors is dozing off, as it turns out, this wasn't the first time Barb dozed off on duty. And by my count, she's dozed off at least 5 times. Judge Rosen wasn't super stoked about this news because he didn't want her missing out on the testimony. But wait until you hear Barbara's office-style explanation. According to her, she wasn't sleeping. And the real story is that she looked down at her blouse, and she got poked because everyone thought she was sleeping. Great job trying to save face, Barbs. You should be commended for your efforts. This giggle-inducing scene resulted in B getting tips on how to stay awake, and brilliant suggestions made by Ravi include caffeine, amphetamines, and cocaine. I certainly don't recommend that concoction, but it's a cocktail that's guaranteed to keep anyone wired and not tired. And when Barb's coffee was spiked, it didn't make her jury duties any easier. But hey, at least she wasn't dozing off anymore, right? One group of people that definitely knows how to stay wired and awake, though, is Roblox gamers. You probably see Roblox animation videos all the time, right? Well, it snuck itself into the series when a defense attorney used a Roblox animation as evidence. As Evan Williams' Sean Sanders prepares to show video evidence to Judge Rosen, he pulls up a Roblox video that his nephew made. And to make matters worse, it doesn't even play properly. The thing's glitching out like a meth head at a coffee convention. And Sonder is a sweating mess. According to Ronald's mini behind-the-scenes interview, the video was glitching, had poor quality, and worst of all, they didn't even get a chance to break down the evidence. The courtroom only saw about 5 or 6 seconds worth of the video, and for the only juror who wasn't acting, aka Ronald, the whole thing was absolutely crazy. And I can't say I disagree. But it turns out there's much more to this story. And the plot thickens when the defendant becomes visibly angry with his lawyers, banging on the table, all thanks to the Roblox vid. Like, come on, you had one job to do, Sanders. And if that didn't cause you to burst out laughing, don't worry, because Ben Seward's Trevor choosing to represent himself at the trial will do the trick. It's a hilarious turn of events. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that the scene's probably been repeated non-stop. Trevor practically runs around the courtroom, playing both the attorney and the defendant. It's a no-brainer that Judge Rosen isn't amused and the jury's confused, because it's not every day that you see someone reenact a scene from a movie. In fact, Judge Rosen told Trevor this isn't the movie Bananas. I'm surprised Ronald didn't clue in that something fishy was going on regarding the docuseries. But you know what they say, ignorance is bliss. And it's a good thing that Ronald never caught on to what was actually happening, because it's a running gag that fans adore. Fans love everything about this show, from the cast and the writing to the only non-actor who's unknowingly part of the project, Ronald Gladden. Fans can't stop praising Jury Duty. On Twitter, one person commented that the cast is phenomenal, and others applauded the show's writing, calling it top tier. Did you know that Jury Duty's been branded as one of the funniest shows ever? Now that's a big deal, and a bold statement. Most agree that the show wouldn't be the hit that it is were it not for Ronald, which makes sense considering his friendly personality and the non-judgmental attitude with everyone involved. That's what makes the show so good. One fan even called Ron a sweet soul, and there's no denying that. Hell, I'd even let him date my sister. But another aspect of the show that fans adore is how brilliant actor James Marsden is. The first time I ever saw James on screen, he was shooting pink laser beams out of his eye sockets in the year 2000's X-Men. And according to Twitter users, jury duty provided him with an opportunity to act unhinged in the best way possible. Some are even saying he should get an Emmy for his performance. But pockets of fans were a little confused about Marsden's role and how he came to be in the equation. Well, the celebrity plays himself, and man does he do a good job. Although I assume playing yourself isn't all that mentally taxing. Throughout the 6 episodes that have aired so far, James only had one goal: to get out of jury duty. Does he succeed? Not really. In one instance, he says he feels he might be an unwelcome distraction for the trial, and the judge immediately pops his bubble by commenting that he doesn't look recognizable at all. Apparently, it wasn't a big deal to Judge Rosen that Marsden was in Sonic 1 and 2, something James was not expecting to hear, and he looked pretty shaken up about it. If James really wanted to get out of jury duty that badly, he should have told the judge he had the Rona and started coughing all over the place. I'll guarantee that would have changed the judge's tune. That would have cleared the courtroom faster than Rosen can say guilty. But another interesting quality about James is that he creates an extremely over-the-top image of what celebrities are like. And I've gotta say, he's super believable. I wouldn't expect anything less from the actor though. I mean, have you seen him in Hairspray? None of James's one-liner quips in jury duty ever miss their mark, and they're all bound to make you cry from all the laughter. In one scene, Marsden even says he feels marginalized as a celebrity, and adds that the feeling of being treated poorly because of his fame doesn't sit right with him. He then turns to Ishmael Saeed's Lonnie and asks what his thoughts are on being marginalized. Awkward. Clearly Marsden is a natural at semi-improv scripts. An improv script might also be how he got this gem from Mekhi Leeper's Noah, who tries to bail on jury duty. It was one of the most unexpected scenes of season 1, and I get that Noah has his reservations about being sworn in for jury duty, but I never thought he'd go so far as calling himself a racist. Yep, that's right guys. When he was asked for any reason as to why he couldn't perform his civic duties, Noah thought the best answer was to brand himself as a racist. And that's what I call hilariously controversial. Even Judge Rosen was taken aback and asked Noah to repeat himself, and he had to promise that he would not under any circumstance call himself a racist person while under oath. As you can see, jury duty has so many unappreciated improv gems that it's hard to keep them straight. But I highly doubt that any of them can top a room full of mannequins. Out of all the wacky things the show's pulled off, I'm certain that filling a storage room with mannequins takes the cake. And again, I'm not making this up. Don't believe me? Ask Ronald himself. He's the one who went on a crazy mini adventure with Lonnie and stumbled upon the forbidden treasure trove of freaky mannequins. And you know, a spooky room full of mannequins and Jorf t-shirt stock is anything but normal. In fact, leave it to fellow juror Todd, played by actor David Brown, to mold the situation to his liking by scaring the living daylights out of the duo. But wait, what was Todd doing in a room full of mannequins to begin with? Okay, you know what? Forget I asked. I think I know where this is going, and I don't even want to know. I gotta keep this video PG-13. But as it turns out, Todd was actually in the room because he wanted to read some facts about mannequins. That's not weird at all. And the cherry on top is that after his confession, he had something else he wanted to get off his chest, and said he accidentally soiled his shirt when he fell. Todd asked Lonnie for his sweatshirt to cover up because he was standing in the room shirtless, but Lonnie wasn't in the mood and straight up refused. Although he did come up with a solution: the Jorf t-shirt supply. But that's not all. It gets even better. After wearing the new shirt, Todd's like, fashion-wise, does it look okay? I like where your priorities are at, man. So there you have it, folks. From a room full of mannequins and Jorf t-shirts to Barbara the juror literally falling asleep during trials, those were the most controversial moments from Jury Duty Season 1.